Welcome in to That's a Tap, our reaction, instant reaction to 302, New Jersey, Newark. Makhachev defends against Poirier, and Strickland gets the convincing win over Costa with some controversy, right? It was a buzzing event, top to bottom, but what are your initial thoughts, DJ? How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. I was just catching some highlights as we are starting up this episode. That's how pumped I am. Good card, decent card, crazy main event, great main event. Yeah, man. Look, I'm feeling good. Good to catch you this Sunday evening, post fight. So, man, yeah, lots to talk about, especially the main card. And look, the main card did get shuffled around after our preview, which they moved the heavyweight fight into the prelims and brought the Nico Price and Alex Morono fight into the main card or the pay per view card. And yeah, look, the fights played out the way it did. I don't think the main event obviously was the standout of the night easily. Um, there was a worthy performance. Our guy Matthews, Jake Matthews, got a win over Phil Rowe, which was good. Phil Rowe is a tough opponent, and obviously that Kevin Olin finish was it was pretty exciting. After being in trouble and then coming back, and it was a quick fight, but it was fighting for as long as it lasted. And yeah, man, like, but look, removed 2 hours, what 2 3 hours removed from the main the card. The only thing that that's stuck in my mind is the main event. So yeah, man, what did you think of the card?
It was a okay card, I think, but the main event made it a good card. You know, the main
Yeah,
event saved it. I think
yeah,
all because I think the co-main, as we'll touch on, I think was disappointing in terms of what we got from Costa. But I tell you, two guys who didn't shortchange us, man, in the main event, right? It was a back and forth.
100%.
This we tweeted, we texted after the first round, DJ. What were you thinking? I thought it was going to be an early stoppage, but Poirier, to his credit, like fought and got, won the stand up, but just unfortunately got caught late with a submission.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the fight sort of again. We went into the fight. We both had different predictions for the main event. You had the Diamond edging it out, and then I had Islam as my prediction. But although I thought Islam was going to win the fight, man, I got to give credit to Dustin Poirier. He gave Islam Makhachev a very, very tough fight. Um, Especially how the first round played out. I thought, it was going to be a quick night because he was going to get the finish because it was a familiar scenes for us. Dustin Poirier in a title fight. The opponent had his back, a strong grappler, and you look 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left in the round. Dustin survives it, loses the round, but survives it, man, and then just comes back strong. He did get taken down a fair bit after that, but there were moments when Dustin came out strong, swinging, caught the champ. Gave him the most amount of damage. That elbow that slashed Islam open. We saw blood gushing out of Islam and then obviously that last round played out. Sort of Dustin had his moments in that round too, and then obviously the finish happened. But hey, look, before we even get into the finer details of the fight, did the fight live up to your expectations, CT?
Yeah, it did. I was expecting it to be competitive. As I did
Yeah,
predict Poirier, it was more of that underdog pick. But yeah, I
yeah,
really felt like we'd get the best of him, and I think we did. Obviously Makachev's, like you said, all the credit to him. Hell of a guy, and in terms of grappling and submission, right? You got to concentrate every single second, and I think that was the difference in this one. It was literally just a second. But Poirier,
yeah,
we saw both guys take heaps of damage, DJ,
yeah,
and that's sort of painting the picture of two bloody warriors.
yeah. Absolutely. I think you know Dustin Poirier was very proud of the performance that he put out there. While it was a loss, it wasn't. The performance was something that he can be proud of. He gave him Islam a very, very tough time. He had a lot of success on the feet, Dustin Poirier. And man, like, he promised us that he's going to give it his all going into this fight, and that's exactly what he did. He gave it his all. He never quit in there. He never took a step back. And he sometimes matched Islam shot for shot. He was taunting him in there for a little bit as well. It was great to see, man. Look, I know he said, look, potentially could be his last fight, but the way he fought, it wasn't a shutout performance. It wasn't where he got dominated. It was a very, very close fight. I think a lot of people sort of had the rounds two to two. I think going into the fifth round, I actually personally added still a clear win if he'd had gone to the decision. I still had Islam winning. I thought he took first. It's a little bit close. Could have gone either way. And then the fifth, obviously it was playing out. Dustin had his moments, like I said, again, was shaping up to be one of those close rounds, which could have gone either way. But I did feel watching that fight, and I've only watched it. I did feel that Islam was be the winner, or he was en route to be the winner. I didn't think it was as close a fight as Islam was as well won. Like, I found that fight to be a lot closer. And personally, I thought like Volk won that fight. Whereas in this, I felt it was still Islam, and if it had gone the decision. Having said that, man, it didn't go to the decision. I'm glad it didn't, because a fight like this, you don't want it to end in controversy. If it was a close decision, questions that hang around, but we didn't have to go to the judges to find. Took care of matters, and man, like, he just saw an opportunity. What a sweep it was! Grabbed his ankle. I thought Dustin was going to get out of it, and that was what it was. I just thought he spent a little bit too. It was just only a fraction of a second, but like, I thought he spent a little bit more time on the mat, which I loved Islam. He saw the opportunity, lunged in for that dart stroke, got it in, locked it in, and I think after that it was just a matter of time. We knew it was either Islam, either Dustin was going to tap, or Islam was going to put him to sleep, because there was just no way you get out. It was and yeah. Look, I know we're talking a lot about Dustin. I know everyone's talking about how, like, obviously it's heartbroken that Dustin didn't get the way he performed. I think everyone's happy. Makhachev is flowers, man. I knew Islam was a good striker, but I just didn't expect him to be this good. I think this fight just showed how good of a striker he is. Like, he was clean. His striking was pretty clean. He was catching Dustin pretty clean too, and some of his combinations, and a guy who can know how good he is with his wrestling. Right, once they take you down, we know what happened. Look, again, quickly, props to Dustin. He got up and stood up from some of those takedowns too, and he stuffed a few takedowns. So they worked on the and sort of the grappling. You can see that in the way Dustin performed in that fight. But man, yeah, look, Islam, to be able to take someone down at will, but and also to be as good as he is striking match. And look, at the moment, like, he's ranked #1 pound for pound, and yeah, rightfully. I know Dana White gave his opinion on it, and he probably was with it. I'll get the John Jones part, but it's just he hasn't in a while. He's injured at the moment, and he's out of competition at the moment. So, like, which makes Islam the pound for pound #1 fighter. I did thinking, wow, that was it by Islam Makhachev, and so he's coming into his own lightweight champion. All these fights, man, are going to make him better, and I feel like Islam's going to tidy up more stuff in the next fight with the Arman Sarukian, which it has to be. I know he called out the 170 title, but I want to see the Arman fight before, because that kind of solidifies him as the the lightweight champ. Cleared out the division almost, because he's got a win over. Now he's beaten Dustin, right? So the other two in the top 5 are, I believe, Justin Gaethje and Gamrod. Two fights that we can potentially see down the line. I think if he's able to win, that kind of solidifies him as the lightweight champion. Now that he's clearing out the division, beating lightweight contenders, that then gives him a even more stronger case to go up and fight the 170 champion, whoever that is at the time.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward, to what's next for Islam in terms of the 170. I think, like you said, he's done everything he needs to. Basically cleared out the division. Looking forward to him moving up, and taking on that other challenge. I get what he said. That hunger of winning a new belt is really stand out. Look for Poirier. I hope he doesn't make the decision hasty. I hope he takes a little
Yeah,
bit of time, DJ, and we all want to see him, maybe one day lift that belt. He's a legend, but his time is definitely running out. But if he takes a little bit of a break and he just lets the
yeah,
division play out, he might be
yeah.
able to sort of pop back in there as well. So I hope he doesn't retire right away. I still
Absolutely.
think
Yeah,
he's kind of at the top of his game.
yeah. I agree 100%. See, um, he like I said, it wasn't a one side. He held. It was a very tough fight against a tough, one of the best title fights that we've seen in recent times. I think, yeah, you're right. Dustin just take some time off. If he were to walk away, I think, yeah, that's completely fine as well. The everything and fought not just some of the best, but all the best fighters in the world. He's got, if you look at his resume, let's disregard the outcome of the fight. But if you look at the resume purely from who he's competed with, you got Khabib, you got Conor McGregor in there, Islam now, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, and he's fought all the best fights in the divisions that he's fought. So he's got nothing else to prove. He is one of the best fighters in the world. So if he were to walk away, all respect to him, and much thanks. His contribution to martial arts and some of the greatest fights, right? Some of the best fight of the nights. More often than not, when Dustin Poirier fights, it's always fight of the night. So, and he gives it his all, man. Right. To be honest, one of my favorite fights of all time was that, and we've spoken about it so many times. That Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier fight. That was like classic. So all respect to him. I think. Look, I don't think he should be disheartened with this title shot. Um, uh, title um, aspirations, because look, maybe 55. Probably the window's closed like 3 times now, and we got more contenders coming up. And Dustin himself said, "Look, do I have it in me to like work my way up again? But hey, he's 70, right now. You got a top name. You change divisions. You go up into another division, 170. All of a sudden, you're back in that title picture. You probably one win away. If Dustin can go in and beat contender in that division, man, we might be looking at potentially challenging for the 170-pound title, which still, could keep us alive. And there is that grudge match, right, against him and Colby. And, Colby's a top contender. He's ranked in the top 5. If he's able to beat Colby, then that puts him back in that title shot picture in a different division, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, obviously they floated, for a potential way back for Poirier is if Connor was to get a win, and then
Yeah.
that grudge match could kind of set up some storyline if Connor does get a convincing win. But yeah, echo what you just said, and I think we'll see more of these two fighters. But again, my thoughts were they saved the event. And as we talk
Yeah.
about the co-main now, DJ, how much of a letdown was it? What are your thoughts?
I was, man. Like, I was quite let down. Look, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. We don't know, like, what was going on with Paulo Costa, any limitations he had in training camp or coming in. This is me expressing my thoughts purely based on what I saw on TV in that 5-round fight. So it was a 5-round co-main event. I was a bit confused with Paulo Costa's strategy. It makes sense. He was trying to hit Strickland strong leg kicks, understood. And constant body shots, which made Strickland drop his hand, understood. I thought he was probably doing something similar to what Alex Pereira was doing and setting up that left hook or some sort of a head strike, obviously help him win or progress forward. that never came. Like, it was a constant back foot, and then Strickland constantly doing, what he does. Obviously, he's like the 1-2 and the strong. The last 10 seconds he went wild and he chased Costa, dropped him as well. I think maybe it was a slip, but I don't know. He did drop Costa, right? But overall, nothing worthy to mention in that fight. It was just, clearly Strickland won. I don't know what the fuck the judge was thinking when they gave it to Costa. One of them gave it to Costa. But I guess, like, yeah, it was just a good fight. Not what I expected. I expected the fight. What was the deal with the Costa that fought Whitaker? I thought he kept coming forward again, rocked Whitaker. So Costa to build on that, but he didn't. He just sort of was very. I was very baffled by his performance, but yeah.
Yeah, likewise, I think. But look, can't take credit away from the winner, and Strickland, earned his win. And look,
Yeah,
he's a very awkward fighter. He's not the most entertaining, as we talked about just before coming on. Like,
yeah,
but he's effective. The jab and his
yeah,
size,
yeah,
and we talked about, the best strategies are to attack his legs and his body. I think because
yeah,
you're getting through that guard of his, and it just.
yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like Costa's lost that edge, and once
yeah,
you've had a few narrow losses, I get it. Some fighters they just lose that hunger, and they lose that edge. But look, interesting to see what'll happen. Strickland's gonna should be the number one
I
contender
mean,
now, right? When Izzy Dricus coming up.
yeah. Look, he was the number one contender already, and like rightfully, I don't know, like we don't understand the politics that go behind the scenes. But look, Strickland should have been the number one contender. Strickland should have been fighting for the title. It was a close loss. Makes sense to run him back, but okay, we understand. Dricus just got the win, and then we got this fight that's been building for a long time. Which is the Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis fight, which is a very exciting fight, which I'm super keen to see. So I'm glad that fight potentially seems like that's what's going to get made. But then now Strickland goes and beats Costa, cements himself. He can't go any further than the number one contender. Cements himself as the number one contender. But then what happens with the Whitaker Hamza fight? Because they're advertising that as the winner gets the title shot. Right? Winner gets to fight for the title. So we've got Whitaker and Hamzat in about 3 weeks' time. They're gonna fight, and the winner's gonna be the number one contender. How does that work with Strickland? Does Strickland stay out of competition till the winner of Hamzat and Whitaker fight for the title, and then he comes in, or does he fight maybe someone like a Jared Cannonier who's going to fight this weekend, and provided he gets the win, maybe that's a fight that best makes sense, or you can sort of argue for it purely because Strickland's got a loss, a controversial loss, but he's still got a loss to Cannonier, so maybe they both fight. And then sort of if Strickland can get that win, then he sort of gets that loss back, and in the meantime, whatever's happening in the top of the division would have happened, and he fights for the title. But it does seem a bit odd that he has to stay that long before he can fight for a title, given his being the number one contender, now also beat Costa.
With UFC and Strickland, they don't see him as a very marketable guy, I think, and he's obviously PR wise as well. There were some challenges, so yeah, I could see why this is playing out the way it is, and he's having to go the longer route.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that could play a factor, a very strong factor actually, because we know the UFC tends to back those who they can sort of market well, but nonetheless, I feel like that shouldn't impact. If you're a contender, if you're cemented yourself as the number one contender, and if you're next in line for the title, you should be fighting for the title. So let's see what happens, man. Like, I mean, it does cause a little bit of concern from Strickland's point of view, I guess, as to what's next now. Like, he's asking for a title shot. That's what with the post-fight press conference. The Octagon interview. He clearly said that he wants that title shot. So he wants it, but yeah, look, the UFC has to figure out what they need to do and where they want to go from there.
Yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, man, he's a tough SOB and he deserves to get his shot, which is coming up. But let's go over our predictions and then grade the card. But any other highlights from the main card?
Now, look, Kevin Holland, what a finish. Was in trouble. Got knocked down quite early in the fight, and I thought, oh damn, it's gonna finish. They're gonna get him there, but Holland, smart, take quick quick thinking, and then sort of grabs the arm, which his opponent let it there for a while, for a little bit longer, and I thought it was smart of Holland to capitalize on that and gets the arm bar locked in. Yeah, look, fight got stopped. I don't think he tapped, but the ref stopped it, rightfully so, because I think any longer and that arm would have snapped, which causes unwanted damage, and you don't want that. So Holland was trying to sort of tell the ref that as well. I felt, but yeah, good stoppage, and yeah, Holland got a win now in 185, which also makes things exciting because with these fighters who can shuffle between different weight classes, I think it just makes things exciting. So yeah, look, Holland's got a win now, and let's see who they match him up against.
Yeah, you said it, DJ. Look, 185. Like, who do you think is a good matchup for him next?
Well, he's still outside that top 10, right? So maybe look, like, can we do Holland versus Michel Pereira? Can we do that fight? That'll be that'll be a fan's
Yeah, sign me up.
that's a fan's dream. Like I would like to see that. That's exciting because these two guys, right? There you can plug them anywhere, get them to fight anyone, and they'll make that fight exciting. Both Holland and Pereira. So Pereira's now fighting in that 185 division, so we can put them together now.
Yeah, definitely agree. And look, you got it with Holland. You were right.
Yeah.
What did you see from Randy Rude Boy?
Well, Randy Brown, look, he went to decision against Dos Santos, but it was a clear, unanimous decision. And yeah, man, like he was just very rangy. He utilized his range really well. And so striking was. We spoke about this before the fight. We said Randy Brown's striking is pretty good, pretty clean, and that's what won him the fight. So pretty good win there. I don't know. Almeida got moved to the prelims, but man, Almeida got a finish. He needed that after that previous loss and the lackluster performance before that. Not lackluster, but just not the kind of performance that wins fans over against Derek Lewis. So that was a good finish. The fight that got subbed in instead of this into the main card was the Nico Price Alex Morono. I think Nico Price is known for like exciting finishes, so they probably were banking on something like that and put him in there. But Nico Price got the win. That was their second time fighting each other. So Nico Price is 2-0 against Alex Morono. Alex Morono also took that fight on short notice. Kevin Holland, we got that one, so that was good. And then I had Costa winning, which, man, now that I think about it, I just feel silly picking that. I just expected the Costa, that Fort Whitaker, to turn up, which he didn't. And there you go, man. That's your predictions. And look, we were 3 for 3. Let's just ignore the fact that Almeida got moved to the prelims. I think we were 3 for 3 in the first 3 fights, but then the other 2 were 1 each. So yeah, talk us through your picks.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting that we went opposites, but we obviously ended up splitting it. But with Strickland, I thought the style was always going to be awkward for Costa, and I thought Strickland was out to get revenge. But Poirier, it was more my heart rather than my head. It was more like I just thought, could this be a fairy tale farewell? But
man. Yeah, I mean,
we fell short with that, but boy, did they deliver with excitement, right? And in terms of grading the card, what would you consider grading this one?
Okay, definitely better than UFC 301, right? Definitely not anywhere close to 300. I would even it was a notch under 298, 299, and 300 in my opinion. I think with that in mind, just the main event alone delivered in spades, and given the caliber of fighters, the pound for pound number one, two tough guys fighting each other, gave us a title fight for a great title fight. The core main was a letdown. There were some there was a couple of finishes, more decisions as well in this card. I'll probably give it a 7.5 to 8. 7.5 to 8. 8 actually. Let me settle down on an 8 because of the main event.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting, man. I'm gonna go with 7.5. Yep, definitely. I feel like it would have been a 7, but
Yeah.
the main event fixed it. But yeah, it was definitely got some thrills and spills. The arm almost getting broken.
Yeah.
Umar Nurmagomedov getting obtained by the Secret Service with Trump in the building. He jumped
Hey,
the fence.
there were about 5 people that ran in. Let's be honest, like he wasn't in the corner, so yeah, fair call. But people were saying that he got evicted more because he fights in Bellator than anything else. Because Dana's like, hey, no Bellator guy's gonna get into my ring. Oh man! But look, like they're known for that though. The Dagestani camps, they do the dog pile or rush in for
Here's a
right reasons
question.
or wrong reasons. I don't know. For the Conor fight, it was for the wrong reasons. And
Do you think we saw Khabib quite like Publix, central now. Do you think this opens the door for him to maybe
nah,
come back one day?
I don't think he comes back to active competition. Not MMA fights. Maybe grappling on and off if he wants to. But I don't see him coming back at all. No, I think
See,
he will. He
I think
will.
he's got that
Sort of,
itch.
I think that itch never left. I think you see some of these guys who come back after retiring. They come back because they retired on their own terms, but then obviously the itch that you spoke about, they have that and they want to come back and they want to retest them. So they see their contemporaries winning and all these fairy tale endings and stuff, and they want to just be part of it. It's a drug, the
Yeah,
crowd
like
of
Triple
Asian.
C, Jose Aldo.
Yeah, like absolutely. But with Khabib, man, like he retired because of family reasons, right? And I don't think these guys they respect their family a lot more. Everyone does, but they're just in a different level. We saw Islam getting agitated because Dustin Poirier said motherfucker, which is a common term, not necessarily um, demeaning one's mother, but Islam or those guys, they take those things personally, and we saw how he didn't like that. So I'm same thing, with Khabib, the fact that his mother was the reason that he stepped away from fighting. I just don't see him, sort of disregarding that to come back. And look, I don't think he needs to. He's got all the money in the world, and he's also proven himself as a competitor. We all know, like, he was undefeated, he was untouchable during his time. So would we love to see Khabib? Absolutely, man. Who wouldn't? The guy's still in his prime. Like, he left in his prime. It was such a shame, but look, it is what it is. We got to respect that, and got to respect his wish. And then
How
we
much
got.
would you
Hmm,
how much would you want to see Islam versus Habib fight each other just to find out who's better? Right, I know they'd probably never
uh,
want they'd never want to do it.
I don't think they're ever gonna fight. Even if that's another reason, I guess, like Khabib left at the time that he did, is so that Islam could then start making his way to the top and make it to the belt, because they were never fighting. Let's be honest, right? It's interesting because Khabib was very good when he took opponents down. He just drowned them. There was no escaping, right? And with Islam, what you see is while he's having more closer fights compared to Khabib, he's, I feel, a little bit better in terms of being well rounded. He's able to, like, he was able to stand and strike with Poirier, right? And then the way Poirier was striking today, those are the shots that like sunk BSD. We've seen Justin Gaethje in the past get TKO'd for that.
Yeah,
Max Holloway, all these
absolutely.
people, like Islam was able to sort of take some of those shots and return in kind too. So, yeah, look, we probably will never find out. Um, But look, hey, there is a world there we could see Conor McGregor fighting Islam. If he wins the fight that's coming at the end of the month, which is the next one, the 303 card, the big one, the return of the Mac. Man, the promo today was epic. They showed it during the pay per view card. That was an epic promo. It makes you more excited. But then you see his social media, and you're like kind of worried, man. Like the guy is 4 weeks out of a fight, and he just seems to be having fun. So,
We'll
yeah.
probably get like a similar thing with Mike Tyson, where due to health reasons, we have to postpone.
Hey, he's never pulled out of a fight, so let's just hope that streak continues. But it's just more worried about the performance, and you see how Mike Chandler's giving it his all in training, and you see this guy on his yacht or in a club partying and we haven't in his defense we haven't seen him drink. It just seems to be having a good time, but. It could be someone's saying it could be tactics. Conor McGregor's well known for mental warfare, and there's probably tactics to throw Chandler off. So I don't know, but we just gotta wait and see what happens with this fight. It'll be funny though if he does all this and knocks out Chandler. It'll be funny,
Yeah,
but
well, can't wait, DJ, and that obviously that is the next big pay per view, as we get closer to fight week and all the
hey,
latest.
the press conference was in 2 days. They're doing a press conference in Dublin. Remember, it was 4th of June. So yeah, Tuesday for us, I believe. Tuesday late. We've got to check the timing. But
Dana did confirm he's flying out like right after the press conference from tonight, and of course, we'll obviously drop some more content on the boxing as well, with Deontay Wilder getting knocked out by Big Bang Zhang, and Dimitri Bivol picking up big win as well. So stay tuned for that, for all our boxing nuts. But this one was UFC 302. DJ graded it an 8. I went 7.5. Pretty solid, pretty decent, but the main event was special. It was the highlight. Intrigued to see what happens with Holland next, and obviously Strickland. But Aussie card 305 in August. We'll wait to hear the confirmation. I think it's going to come this week, DJ, with Izzy and Drickus.
It has to. They've announced 304. The UK card. Next is 305. You got to announce it. Like, come on, like Dan has to. We got to start booking tickets. We got to start making travel arrangements. Yeah, it is what it is.
That's it. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. And of course, stay tuned for next week. More content coming. This one's been That's a Tap with CT and my man DJ. Give us a like and subscribe if you're new. Appreciate you. Let us know your thoughts about this card and what's next for Poirier and Islam too. It's been fun breaking it down. I enjoyed it, and much deserved fight of the night as well. DJ, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.